This is the guy with the supply, Ty Awesome Tyler Hastings, and you're listening to the Corner Fandimonium.
It's showtime! Woo!
Rest in peace.
The hell?
Welcome to Corner Fandimonium. I am your host, Jay Will, the voice of independent wrestling. And today we have current 1CW and ESPW heavyweight champion, the guy with the supply, Ty freaking Awesome. How you doing today, Ty?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you coming by and taking the time to have me as your first guest.
I appreciate you. I've been following you for a while. I think the first time I got to see 1CW was when Jeff Jarrett came to town.
Okay, yeah, I remember that show. That was at the church, the Holly Grove, the Christian school.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I remember that. That was a great show.
And I heard a guy coming out from Salisbury, Maryland, and I just instantly popped. I'm like, I know exactly where that is. I play football in Salisbury.
Right
now.
on.
Yeah, so I instantly, no matter if he was a bad guy, good guy, it didn't matter to me at the time. I was gonna root for you,
Awesome.
and I was just yelling my behind off and everything.
Always.
So I appreciate everything you do.
Oh, dude, no problem. I appreciate you. I think that was the time I wrestled Miles in I think it was a 3 Stages of Hell match.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
The whole night was a great.
Oh
night.
yeah,
great night. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a small town kid from Salisbury, Maryland. What got me into wrestling growing up was first I fell in love with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And once I found wrestling through a friend of mine, growing up, it was just like second nature. I could be a real life Power Ranger.
Yeah.
That basically was which is what was wrestling to me. And so I ended up getting into wrestling. The first Monday Night Raw I watched was when John Cena got drafted.
Yeah.
So after that, I was hooked. So I've been wrestling for now. The first time I got in the ring was in 2012, so technically 10 years, but I've been on the indie scene for 8. I was trained by Mark and Jay Briscoe, my basics. They taught me my basics when I was 16. When I was 18, I did some stuff with my friends out in Salisbury. Yeah. But when I think I was about 19 or 20, I started going to Spinebusters Wrestling Academy, which was led by Sonny Deeds and Muddy Waters at the time, and some like Delaware guys like Killian McMurphy, Travis Banks, Joe Kerr. They all came out of there.
Gotcha.
So I was with them for the longest time before I ended up changing trainers to Mark Caro, who I'm with now. Yeah. I've been training with him for about 3 years, and I moved up to be his assistant trainer now at Workhorse. Me and Sean Carlson, we actually are assistant trainers there. So that's what I'm doing right now. Right now, you already said it. I'm the 1CW Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, you are.
I am the Eastern Shore Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Right now, those are my 2 titles. I've also been the ECWA Heavyweight Champion. I've competed in ECWA Super 8 tournament. I've appeared on Monday Night Raw and 205 Live. So
Viking Raiders, correct?
Yeah, Viking Raiders, and on 205 I had Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa.
I remember you flying.
Yeah. People are still wondering if I came down. Yeah, but that's kind of like the little things that I've done. I've worked for ECWA, WWE, like I said, 1CW. I work for Promotion DWA in West Virginia. I basically keep myself busy. Valor Pro Wrestling in Pennsylvania. I'm always typically in the the Eastern Shore area, not Eastern Shore area, but the East Coast area, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, AWA, Maryland. AWA is a newer one for me. But yeah, I'm typically staying in Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and, just expanding.
Yeah, that's great. All right. So basically, growing up, your favorite wrestlers?
So my favorite wrestlers growing up, of course, was John Cena. He always triggered you to the screen, but for me, the person who really wanted to make me be a professional wrestler was Paul London. He did the flips. He was very fast paced, very athletic, and a smaller frame guy. So it's kind of a little bit more relatable to me.
Okay. So far in your career, have you accomplished anything that you thought that you wouldn't accomplish?
Oh my gosh, a bunch. A bunch. just being in the Indies alone was a huge accomplishment for me because I figured I'd only have like one match in my life because you never know how things are. So that was a huge accomplishment in its own. Working for ECWA, that was this huge wrestling company for long tenured company with a lot of legacy behind it. WWE, of course, that's the boyhood dream. You know what I mean? I never thought I would have an opportunity to work for WWE on 3 separate occasions and, got to perform on their flagship program, have Vince McMahon walk past me and say, great job for yesterday or good job on yesterday, like little stuff like that. That's a huge accomplishment that, the 11-year-old me never saw coming.
Yeah, like the small things you'll never think.
Yeah, and, it's always the goal when, you're a wrestling fan to win the big one, to win a heavyweight title. Yeah. And, like, I'm not the biggest frame guy, but, like, I do have a lot of heart when I'm in the ring. You've seen it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I feel like I try to put everything into my matches. So to win heavyweight titles, not just 1, but 4 different heavyweight titles in 4 different states, that's incredible.
Definitely incredible.
The 11-year-old me would certainly be proud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know your family and everybody's proud of you around here. I know Papa Scott's proud of you.
Yeah, Papa Scott, he's always proud. He's definitely an integral part of this mission too. He's been with me. If I've been doing this for 8 years on the Indies, he's been hanging out with me for 6. So and he provides a lot for the independent community as well. He films, his YouTube page, Papa Scott Productions, has almost got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he films whole shows, and, he really is a pivotal point in, furthering independence, especially lower independents. There are bigger independents that like are on IWTV and stuff, but Papa Scott, whenever he's with me, he's able to get footage for these other companies that are like not big enough to go on IWTV.
And it's like good film. It's not like his like cell phone film. It's actual good.
Right.
Film
Yeah. He does.
People could use to advance.
Yeah. He's got 2 different cameras. He's got a commentary set up now. So and he's a 1-man production team. He kills it. Yeah. And he works his 9 to 5. And my guy's almost 65 years old. You know what I mean? You wouldn't believe it, but my guy's almost 65 years old, and he works himself to the bone because, he wants everyone in the Indies to do good.
I've never seen him not smile.
No.
Never. So out of your matches that you've had, name some of your favorites.
I mean, of course, the Viking Raiders. I mean, that's definitely going to be up there for a long time. Mm-hmm. Probably like I consider that a squash match, so I wouldn't consider that like a match. But if I was going to say my best matches, definitely me and Chase Owens in the ECWA Super 8 semifinal. Definitely one of the best experiences I've ever had in the ring. Super cool guy, and to go toe-to-toe with a New Japan wrestler was insane. It was awesome, and it was a different breed. So it was cool to learn that pacing and how to compete with somebody like that.
Did you experience some of the strong style?
Fuck yeah, I did. Yeah, dude, I remember him slapping me one good time and my bell's ringing.
Oh man.
So I mean, Chase is no joke. He's no joke. He was really good. Ricky Reyes, definitely working him. He was my first star that I got to work. That was a really big opportunity for me, and he took care of me. And the second time when Boone came around, he was like, well, now that I know you don't suck, we can do more. So that was always good.
It's always good getting somebody's respect.
Yeah, very, very true. I got to wrestle Black G's. Black G's is a very he's more known now than he ever was, but he's been on the Indies for a long time. And he's done me and him had a great match, and it was an honor to work him. There's one, Rhett Titus. I just got to work Rhett Titus. That was definitely challenging.
Yeah.
That was definitely challenging wrestling Rhett, because Rhett is a different breed of wrestler.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's not an entertainer. He's a wrestler. And, I thought I was a wrestler, but my style is very entertainment based. And I didn't realize that until I wrestled a wrestler. So,
that dude is freaking cut.
Yeah, he is. He's probably like 2 pounds of body fat. The guy is great. But other than that, I think those are some of my bigger matches that I've had that, have stood out to me. I just had one with Marcus Mathers. That was really good too. At Super Crazy Pro Wrestling. That was a lot of fun. Marcus is on his way up. So like to get an opportunity to wrestle him was awesome. So
that's great, man. So of course, back in the day we had Raw, we had Nitro, we had Thunder, we had SmackDown. Like what was your pick?
I mean, by the time I got in, I'm born in 95.
Gotcha.
I'm still, I like to consider myself still young. I feel old, but I consider myself still a little young. But for me, it was usually SmackDown. I enjoyed SmackDown as a kid because of the cruiserweight division. Gotcha. It was awesome. And I think if I started watching wrestling a little earlier, it would have been WCW because of the cruiserweight division.
Oh, man, that was...
You know what I mean? Because their cruiserweights were off the wall.
It was a different story.
Yeah, man. WWE, you know how they are. They have to limit their people for timing reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? WCW, they would tell you 7 minutes, do everything you can. And that was the first hour, wasn't it? It was the first hour of the show. And it was great. You know, I go back and I watch old matches of like Eddie and Dean Malenko and stuff like that.
They definitely could have had full pay-per-views on their own.
Oh, absolutely.
Cruiserweights, and it would have sold just as good as any other regular pay-per-view.
I agree. That's why in my opinion, the Cruiserweight Classic was so good. It was very intriguing, and like you knew all the style was going to be fast-paced and go and very intense. So.
Until you get in with Dean Malenko and you break you down, and it slows down just
absolutely. and there still are people like that. Like Drew Gulak is like that. You know, he definitely will grab you and slow you down. So yeah, I mean that style is still not to be discredited. It's a lost art.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. So SmackDown, your favorite storyline that you either was at a show for or you seen it on TV?
If I had to think of something off the top of my head, like favorite storyline wise, for me, if I can think of a storyline that really was like stood out to me as a child, it was actually on Raw. It was actually the Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan when Hulk had just came back. I believe it was like 2005, and Hogan and Michaels they just had this promo. I remember it was like a Larry King live segment, and Shawn Michaels put all this face paint on, and I remember as I was probably 11, 12-year-old kid. I was like, that's not Hulk Hogan. Why does he look so old? You know what I mean? And then he rips off the face. He super kicks Larry King, and it's amazing. So, like, that was really cool, too. And I just remember being like, whoa, like, that was insane. And then, like, leading up to the SummerSlam match, which is it's critiqued because Shawn very much oversold in the match. Yeah. But I loved it. As a kid, I fell in love with it because I was seeing the best good guy wrestler of all time go against this jerk Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? So that's something that definitely stood out to me.
Yeah, arguably the biggest jerk in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest freaking wrestlers you'll ever see. He's definitely in my top four. What's your top four?
Top four wrestlers?
Yes.
Gosh. Of any time period?
Any time period.
So if I had to pick a top four of any time period, like of wrestling, this is tough because like I have favorites, but if I had to, would you say like a Mount Rushmore?
Yes.
Okay, if I had to pick a Mount Rushmore wrestling, we got to put Ric Flair on there.
Yes.
Got to put Hogan on there.
Yes.
We got to put The Rock on there.
Okay.
And the fourth one's always tough.
You know what I mean?
Man. I say Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
It's got to be Stone Cold. You know what I mean? Those are very pivotal people in wrestling. You know what I mean? Who have changed the game.
Yes.
You know, had made people turn heads, change the channel. You know what I mean? Those would probably be the people.
Definitely. Okay. You ready for mine?
Okay.
Mine's a little more older, but my all-time favorite wrestler that like sitting and watching TBS with my grandmother and my mom back in the day was Sting.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sting, that is my number one. After him, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Man, it's too late. I can't put him on mine now. I can't put him on mine now. It's too late.
Shawn Michaels. And the crazy thing is like they had similar freaking careers. Like they both came up tag team ranks. Like they were the standout person in the tag team. Then next thing you know, had great singles careers. Drugs happened. Both found God around the same time. Revitalized their life, their whole careers. Came back, had second careers doing the same thing. And it was like, it's crazy how that happened.
I mean, it is crazy how that. I totally forgot that Sting and Ultimate Warrior were a tag team.
Yes.
So you just brought it back up. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, and that is. I didn't even put those two things together. That's a great and wow, that blew my mind, Jared. I didn't even think that they were both coming up from tag teams and kind of have a similar. Wow, that's really neat. Which Sting do you like better? Do you like Surfer Sting or do you like Black and White Sting?
I like Surfer Sting.
You like Surfer Sting?
Yeah, I love Surfer Sting.
The blonde buzz cut. Yeah.
Yeah. That his energy then was just off the freaking charts.
Yeah.
Off the charts. You couldn't help but to be a Sting fan with the energy that he provided. But his biggest nemesis to me, which is my third, Ric Flair. Back in the day, I couldn't stand him because I was a Sting fan.
Right.
As an adult, I understand he just did his fucking job.
Yeah, absolutely. And good.
Yes.
You know,
very,
absolutely.
very
Whenever
good.
a heel can make you feel something, they're doing a good job.
Yes. He made me hate people with Rolexes and suits. It was like,
I hate all those privileged motherfuckers, man. I hate them all.
And coming in number 4, last but definitely not least, the Dead Man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All belong on there.
That's just it for me. That's who got me into it, and who just kept me into it.
Yeah, those are great names. Those are great names.
And all of them end up having. I love them at a young age. Love watching them. Even though I hated Ric Flair, wanted him to lose every match, even though he just wouldn't freaking do it.
Right.
I just wanted to see him get beat up. I wanted to see Undertaker never lose ever. I wanted to see Sting only lose to Ming. That is the only person that I ever wanted to see Sting lose to was Ming. And that was a very legitimate
loss. That's Haku, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he actually lost to him a couple of times, fair and square, legit.
Wow.
Ming was just that dude back.
Oh yeah, that was the dude you don't mess with that guy.
Exactly.
You don't poke that bear.
Yeah.
You feed that bear, don't poke it.
And if you ask me, it's probably a controversial statement, but I'm a Shawn Michaels guy. I don't think the screw job ever really happened.
Bro, you never know. I'm sure there was definitely. I definitely think there's something happened. I definitely think something happened, but I think there's a little more to the story. Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely think that. I think Bret probably knew something was going to happen.
He knew it. That's why he didn't want to drop the title. He knew something was going to happen.
And they say things, I think he won. And in my opinion on that one, and I don't want to get into this often, I think honestly Vince did do the right thing to protect his assets.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Bret Hart is a wrestler of his generation, and his career was cut short, and he was terrific at his game. The Hart family has gone through many struggles, you know what I mean? But in my opinion, there was an honest threat of that title being shown on the Enemy Network.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happens, there's so much discredit to your company now. You know what I mean?
Being that Vince already let Ric Flair do it years ago.
If I was in them shoes, I would have probably done the same thing.
Exactly.
Just pull the rug out from underneath him. You're not taking that.
He know what it did to WCW when Ric Flair did it. When he brought the big gold belt over.
After Medusa.
He was the real world champion. Yeah.
When Medusa trashed it. You can't have that happen again.
No, never again.
Not your illustrious championship.
Yeah.
No,
that means absolutely nothing because now it's in the trash.
God, man. And we'd be watching WCW every Monday right now. You know what I mean? That would have put a nail in the coffin.
We might get a cruiserweight pay-per-view out of that.
We probably would have.
All right, bro. So WCW, WWF. Back in the day, you researching, looking at everything. Your dream match.
Back in those WCW.
Yes.
I'd probably have to pick one from each, to be honest with you. I would love to wrestle WCW Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely young, you know what I mean? Not that it would, not to discredit him now, but a young Rey Mysterio, I would love to have competed against. When I think of Halloween Havoc, I think of Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I could wrestle that Rey Mysterio, that would be a blast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was going to go WWE during that time period, my heart wants me to say a big name wrestler, but I really feel like there's more outliers in there. I would have liked to wrestle Steve Blackman. That would have been really cool.
Wow.
That would have been really neat. I'm trying to think.
I didn't think I would hear.
Because I said that at the beginning of 2022. It's I want to wrestle Steve Blackman. I remember saying that. But I'm trying to think if there's anybody else who I'm missing during that time frame. If I was thinking a legit WWE mid-90s match, it would probably be Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? Shawn Michaels in the 90s was fantastic. fantastic.
That
It
would
was
be
like a fine wine.
That would
You
be
know
a
what I
good
mean?
match. Yeah, that
Uh-huh.
would be definitely a good match. He would definitely both those matches. You would be pushed.
Regal's a dream match too.
Oh man,
To wrestle William Regal would be awesome.
is
Whether
so
in WCW or
underrated.
WWF,
Yeah,
either one.
When he was Lord Steven Regal, he was so underrated.
Oh, he was
how good he was in the ring.
Yeah.
Like his personality and all that didn't pop.
Yeah,
but
finesse.
When he got in the ring, you just seen why he had a job.
Oh, he was good. He was good. Probably one of the best people in a ring to not win the WWE title.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. Some people just, it's a brass ring that everybody can't wear.
Yep. And not everybody has wore it. I mean, if you think about it, Roddy Piper was never a heavyweight champion either, but people still talk about him every day. You know, people are going to talk about him every day too. So
yeah. It's like you got names like Jake the Snake.
Oh, never held it. Yep. Never held it, but he will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a hard thing to do. It's a super hard thing to do.
Yeah, especially when you don't have the notoriety of being champion, but you have the notoriety of being one of the best.
Right. Because we all know Ric Flair is a 16-time heavyweight title. When you think of names like Roddy Piper and Jake Snake, you just think what do you mean they didn't win a world title? You know what I mean? It's like you don't even think that because they were just larger than life superstars who did their job and did it right. Made you remember. Made you invest.
And speaking of Flair, to switch gears for a second, let's go to female wrestlers. Who you got right now?
Like right now during this time frame?
Yep. First, I went independent, then I went professional.
Oh, that's hard for the indies. There's so many good indie talent right now. I'll pick my top 3 indie female talent because I don't want to single out any one female.
Never want to do that.
So I'll go Christina Marie. She's a great independent talent. Mm-hmm. It's a wonder she hasn't made it yet. Rebecca Scott. She's been one of the ones at CCW. I've been watching her work, and she's extremely good. Mm-hmm. And another one is her name's Akira Jackson. She's 18 years old. She's from Virginia. She trains in Virginia too. I don't know if she trains under Bo or not, but either way, she's so young. She's 18 years old, and I call her young prodigy because she's so good. You know what I mean? She's probably only been training for a year, and she's competing like she's been in the ring for 10. Like, because she's good. She does moonsaults to the outside of the ring. She's super good, and I think she's one up and coming person that'll probably make it. And that I consider her a wild card right now because she's fresh new. If I had to say right now, top indie or top, I'll go WWE wrestlers or female wrestlers because I keep up with that a little more than I can AEW because I train on Wednesday nights. I do keep up. Like I do love Jamie Hayter and I love Marina Shafir.
Yeah.
I like them. So those are
that title's looking real good on Jamie Hayter right
now. Yeah. Oh, and I love what's her name? Jade Cargill. She's great. She's great. Freaking nature. Man. Freaking nature. Thunder Rosa. I've worked on a show with her. She's really good too. So that's just a couple AEW ones. Mm-hmm. But if I was going to say WWE right now, you can't put any shade on Bianca Belair. One of the best talents in the world. Man, woman.
Yes.
He, she, they. It does not matter. She is great.
Yeah.
Charlotte, one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
In that class. Anybody else right now off the top of my head and women that are really good? I think Naomi's always an undercard. You know what I mean? I feel like Naomi is always underrated when she is freaking above the rest.
Before Charlotte got settled in and before Bianca got there, she was the most athletic female on that roster.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah. Well, with Bianca there now,
yeah,
there's a lot of dudes.
Which is a shame because Naomi has a lot of personality, a good gimmick, and she's got the ability. So, I mean, I definitely think she needs more time on TV.
Yeah. All right. What you got coming up here in the near future?
Right now, I got Inspire Pro Wrestling. It's kind of like a debut show, but it's kind of like a closed circuit event. It's going to be just filmed, and it's being run by Cheeseburger and Phineas Preacher, who's a big trainer up in the PA area.
Gotcha.
and it's going to be at the Worldwide Dojo. But it's actually, like I said, it's closed, no audience. It's going to be filmed right there.
Gotcha.
Papa Scott's got the film on that.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually pretty cool. We're all going to be getting critiqued afterwards too.
Okay.
I feel like it's a lost art in wrestling now to say like to get trained and just stop your training. It's always better to keep training. I still train every week. I train in the ring still. You know what I mean? Because there's one, you don't want to lose that ability. You don't want to you don't want to collect ring rust. You never want to do that. And I always feel like there's something to learn in the ring.
Yes.
You know, there always is. And I always come up with new things. I feel like my brain's like a firecracker in the ring. You know what I mean? I come up with new ideas and new moves and stuff, new ideas, new promos. You know what I mean? It's like it's therapy in there. So yeah, back to what I was saying is we have this Inspire event that's gonna be on a Sunday. Me and Pops are leaving here at 6 a.m. to make it there early because it's gonna be like a 10 a.m. event.
Gotcha.
After that, I got the 1CW event, January 14th. I'm defending the 1CW Pro Wrestling title for the first time. I'll be defending it against Miles Millennium. He better watch out because me and Stevie Ray Styles, we got some plans.
Okay.
After that, I got a couple dates in West Virginia for WDWA, newer company I've been working for. They've been around for a while, but I've been wrestling with them for about maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Definitely, they draw in names from MCW and stuff like that too, so they bring in a nice, good array of talent.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed working for them. Gavin Jackson runs that, he at least books it. He's a super great guy. Other than that, I got Eastern Shore Pro Wrestling in March, which is going to be a blast because I get to defend the Eastern Shore Pro Wrestling heavyweight title against Phil Brown, and he'll finally leave me alone. He will finally leave me alone. Me and Derek are going to party after we beat him. We're still going to be Thai 2 belts. We might go to another company, become Thai Trifecta.
Oh, yeah.
We might figure something out. Who knows?
We can get the shirt started already.
Yeah, Thai Trifecta. I'm going to get a shirt that says Thai Awesome OG on it. I'll get a little baggy on it. That's what I'm going to tell people. The guy with the supply.
There it is.
Yeah, the guy with the supply, yeah. Other than that, it's basically just 1CW, Eastern Shore. I got a couple promotions in New Jersey here and there. Like I got AAW in April, newer company, Atlantic All-Star, I think it's the name. I usually am a mainstay at Valor Pro Wrestling, which is in York, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm usually staying in that types of areas, and I'm always expanding. I was talking to Ricardo Rodriguez the other day about coming to his company.
Oh man.
Yeah, about coming to his company. Just talking. You know what I mean? It's not like hearsay.
Or you talking, he knows you.
Yeah, just the fact to put your foot in the door. Exactly. You know what I mean? I always try to, update my resume, send it to people who matter. Mm-hmm. I always try to, display respect. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a lost art too, just nowadays in general. I feel like, people expect more than they respect. And
exactly.
So, I'm always big on respecting, and, there was people who got here before you that paved the way for you.
Exactly.
So, respect it. At the end of the day, we're all supposed to be having fun. It's, you know what I mean? I love wrestling. You know what I mean? I fell in love with all the superstars on TV, and I wanted to be one. Yeah. And the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing, I may not be on TV, but damn, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? Exactly. I'm blessed to live the life I live, and to go out and other people enjoy what I do. That's a blessing.
You have fans, and you have people looking your name up for something positive.
Right. And I've come to realize it's not about the wins or losses. No. You know what I mean? Most of the matches that I've lost, I've still come out winning. You know what I mean? Because you gain, little things like fans who believed in you, things like that, So I try not to let the little things bother me. I just try to enjoy life in the moment. I feel like that's way more important.
Yeah, that's all we can do now.
Yeah.
That's what 2023 is about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So your social media, how can anybody get up with you? And also, how can they see the footage from Papa Scott Productions?
So if you want to see my stuff, I'm Ty Awesome on Instagram, Ty Awesome Pro on Twitter, TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. Just look up Ty Awesome, and you can like my page. Papa Scott Productions is on YouTube. All you have to look up is Papa Scott Productions, or you can look up Ty Awesome Wrestling. You'll find some footage. And it's really easy to find. I'm very thankful that, I have my pops along with me and, filming all these shows. Super grateful because it's really hard to get filmographers out here to shows and film shows and get them out there in a timely fashion. My dad's super great when it comes to getting that stuff out and like providing good quality matches on on for people to watch. So, and that's Papa Scott Productions on YouTube, and he's got all his stuff is Papa Scott Productions, except Twitter, it's Papa Scott Pro because I wouldn't let him put Productions on there.
All right. Before I close this out, I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of people who helped me out along the way. Miss Tiffany Stimpson, I very much appreciate you and encouraging words and the networking that you set me off with and get me on the right path. And also Mr. Sean Hardy. Mr. Sean Hardy, this man has not closed his inbox to me since I've had this idea. And he's been on board with me for everything. And all I've ever heard is, what do you need from me? And let's get it done. And it's crazy. I've been a fan of this show plenty of times, but it's not like we've ever sat down and had like a personal conversation. So none of that mattered to him. He's seen somebody that was a wrestling fan that wanted to get in and wanted to do it the right way, and he just jumped straight on board. And I appreciate everything from that.
Sean's a great wrestling person. He really is a person to have. He definitely is a giving person. A lot like Kevin Brittingham. Kevin Brittingham was a very giving person. So.
Gotcha. Also, I wanted to see if you can get with Stevie Ray, give me one of those front row seats. I'm going to have an entourage with 4
Bro,
CF.
that should not be a problem.
Okay.
That shouldn't be a problem at all. We bought all them seats, but we got a few reserved for the people we like. And, of course, your name is on there. So.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
4CF will be in the building. That's Four Corner Fandimonium. We will be in the
we'll
building.
We'll give you a little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, I'm cool with that. January 14th, Houston, Delaware. Hey, we'll see you there. Thank you for listening to Four Corner Fandimonium. Make sure to follow for upcoming shows and check out Ty Awesome on social media and Papa Scott Productions.